What's up, everybody? I am back wrapping up February month with an old school Western film, The Cherokee Kid. Way before there was Wild Wild West, there was The Cherokee Kid. And I don't think many people really bring this up, but this really kind of, I don't know, I think more people think of like a black western. They think of Wild Wild West. Very little they think about the Cherokee Kid. I remember watching this as a young kid, and is it at the heights of Sinbad's popularity? Because I think it's around the same time where he was doing Jingle All the Way. Let me see. This came out in 1996. Yeah, Jingle All the Way and Wild Wild West. Oh, sorry, Jingle All the Way and the Cherokee Kid was a big year for Sinbad. And of course, he ended up working with quite a few people who was also on A Different World, the TV series back in the 90s. Also, this movie was directed by Paris Barclay, who worked on things like NYPD Blue, The Shield, West Wing, CSI, Lost, The Shield, Sons of Anarchy, Glee, and many, many more. So, this, of course, stars Sinbad as Isaiah Turner, aka the Cherokee Kid, Gregory Hines as the Undertaker, James Coburn as Cyrus Bloomington, A. Martinez as Juan Nepomuceno Cortina, Ernie Hudson as the actual gunslinger, Nat Love, aka Deadwood Dick, Mark Pellegrino, Lucifer from Supernatural himself, did not even realize he was acting so far back, as Frank Bonner, the henchman of Bloomington, Burt Reynolds as Bob Otterbob, the Mountain Man, Dawn Lewis as Mary, Stagecoach Mary, gotta hold on 1 second here. Gotta come back to that. Was plays Stagecoach Mary of the Love Gang. Hal Williams as Reverend Peel. Hattie Winston as the wife, Elizabeth Peel. Vanessa Bell Calloway as Abby Holsopple. Whatever. Lorraine Toussaint as Mama Annie Turner, the mom of Isaiah. So, this is one heck of a journey Isaiah went on. The movie opens with a high noon gunfight between the Cherokee Kid and the Undertaker. The shots ring out, Cherokee Kid drops, and a funeral happens as Cortina, I keep thinking of like Cortana like Halo. Cortina says some words on the history of the Cherokee Kid. And we see a flashback, what happened leading up to this, where a young Isaiah, who's the youngest of two boys, well, him and his brother uh, Jedediah. Their father was half black, half Cherokee. And because he didn't want to sell his land to a younger Bloomington back then, who's now is run for governor, he didn't want to sell his land to somebody like Bloomington. The father gets killed, leaving behind his iconic hat with the Cherokee feather on the brim. So the boys, wanting revenge, goes out, kill the guy who did it. But because the mom chastised them for confusing stupidity for courage, she pretended to kill Jedediah while Isaiah make a run for it. She dies by Bloomington. And so while Bonner took pity on Isaiah and allowed him to run, pretending to kill him, Isaiah runs away until he comes across a farm where he meets Reverend Peel and his wife. And they took him in, raised him as their own. But he hasn't forgotten, what happened to his family. So he is waiting until he's old enough so he can go out on his own and take his revenge on Bloomington. But this dude is such a clumsy oaf, he doesn't know anything outside of the farm. So, sticking to his guns, no pun intended, he decides to set off to into town to try to find Bloomington. And this is the last time we see the, sort of last time we see the parents, where they sorrowfully see that their son is off, but unfortunately didn't realize he took one of the guns in their house with him. And the kid doesn't even have no sense of direction, and he doesn't know how to ride a horse. He pretty much spends most of the time walking with the horse instead of riding on it, because somehow, some way, the parents didn't teach him how to ride a horse at any point growing up on a farm, mind you. But he makes his way into town, and this guy stupidly tries to we're going to skipping over a part. Along the way, he gets hungry. He ran out of the food rations that was given to him by his parents. They did it on purpose, hoping that he, gets so hungry he'll end up coming back anyway and forget this foolish, revenge plot. But he sees a wild turkey and chases it in a shack that he thinks is abandoned. Upon seeing a black prostitute getting hassled by a white cowboy, who I believe is played by oh no, for a second I thought it was, because the outlaw named Jake Carver, who I thought was played by the guy who was in a lot of older Marvel films. Like, he was the best friend to Nicolas Cage, Ghost Rider, and he was like the bad guy henchman to in the first Blade movie. I thought it was the same dude, but apparently not. Um, he inadvertently killed Jake, and then had and as thanks the prostitute, uh, uh, you know, cooked the bird so he can have something to eat. But then, as he's lying on the floor sleeping, he's waking up. She took all the food, never to be seen again. Right as Jake's buddies catches up, and he pretends to be an old friend of Jake's and talking about, he talks his way out of getting killed. Mentions about a bank heist. So convincing them to get him to the town that he's looking for, because he has no way knowing which way is up, but they will be a little bit more familiar. So under the guise of being part of the gang, they head into town, go to one of the banks, and tricks them into getting arrested in a most hilarious fashion. But the Bonner, the henchman Bonner, who is associated with the now legitimate Bloomington, makes sure that the robbers are arrested. But of course, being very disrespectful to Isaiah because he's black. This is the Old West, mind you. As much as I like this era, there's clearly still a lot of severe racism here. But I'm glad they wasn't overplaying it like it would be like it was some Django Unchained crap. But it's like you can't ignore it. But I like the fact that it wasn't overdone. It's just enough to get the point across that this was an era that wasn't so kindly to black and brown people, or even Asian people, because there's a few of them that's sprinkled here and here too. Now, this is how you do representation, people, because you know what kind of story you're telling, so you know how many people to include in here. So it's kind of like it was done a lot organic and not as a check box that you're trying to do for the Academy Awards. Anyway, so Bonner disrespectfully calls him a boy, throws a coin as a reward, and then, of course, recognizing who Bonner is, Isaiah tries to take out the gun to shoot him right there on the spot in full view of everybody. But the gun comes apart out of his hand because he never knew how to wield a gun before, let alone know how to shoot it. This part, I get it. It's a hero's journey in a way, but it's just like this dude doesn't know which way is up, and he doesn't have any plans. He just wants his revenge, but he doesn't know how to execute it at all, plan it out, woefully ill prepared. He escapes and then tries to confront Bloomington right in full view of everybody, tells him exactly who he is. This dude is a complete idiot. It's like when Superman tells Lois Lane about all of his weaknesses because he want to be honest and not scare people, and then she prints it and everybody knows exactly how to take down Superman. Is that level of stupidity. So he slips away on the back of a wagon owned by Otterbob. And I like Burt Reynolds in this. He's very fun, very charismatic. So he convinces Otterbob to teach him how to hunt and shoot. In exchange, he will teach Bob how to read, because Bob has a book that he was interested in, but unfortunately he never knew how to read. Don't know why at no point along the way he had somebody to teach him how to read. I get it. It was the Old West. Not many people back then knew how to read. Matter of fact, I won't say it was a rarity, but it's just the amount of people that actually knew how to read it was relatively small. But then again, there was schoolhouses. There were teachers that clearly would know how to read. You could have gone to any one of them at some point in your life during the Old West. I know you're a mountain man, but you could go into town to get certain supplies and sell your furs that you accumulated in the wild. At some point, you could have met somebody that can teach you how to read. Oh, and by the way, as I see this character, I can't help, well, at least this film in general, I can't help but think about Red Dead Redemption 2. And I cannot wait for a potential Red Dead Redemption 3 because I want to get back into this world, be on the plains. It's like, you know how good Red Dead Redemption 2 was. You know how much it soaked up everybody's life because they were so, like, invested. Because you still can play this game and do so much, even to this day. It's kind of like, not Elden Ring, but, crap. Crap. Okay, well, it was like what was that freaking game? Skyrim. Skyrim. It's kind of like Skyrim in a way. Right? It's like, even though the main story is probably long gone, you can still do so much. It's like soak up your entire life. It's like so much that is untapped stuff they put in there for you to just happen to come across and explore. I don't want to get on a tangent here, but I can't help but think about Red Dead Redemption when looking at this. Anyway, so he teaches him how to hunt and shoot, but apparently later on, for some reason, doesn't know how to aim. That he have to have somebody else teach him how to, I guess, quick draw, but it still falls in line with aiming. So that part was very confusing to me. Like, well, why do you need like somebody else to teach you? You already have a extra expert woodsman to teach you how to shoot. Ergo, he should also be teaching you how to aim. Now it'll be a kind of entirely different thing where you need somebody to teach you the art of the quick draw. Then you can, but they didn't use that word specifically. They say aim. So that part is like, okay, do you mean you need to teach him how to do the quick draw? Because you should already know how to aim because he was taught by Autobob with the expertise in shooting. Anyway, so these two become fast friends, and it at the same time, Bloomington sends Barnard and his flunkies to go find Isaiah, because they come to realize is that same kid that Barnard should have dealt with all those years ago. So now he needs to finish the job. And of course, the Old West, finding people takes a considerably long time. So it's been like 3 months. During that period, Bob was teaching Isaiah all the tracking skills and survival skills and shooting skills. So he's not much. He's not much of an idiot now. And their friendship was like really are set in stone just by the fact that when he's trying to sell his furs to this guy that apparently been, scamming him for years, taking advantage of his illiteracy and his lack of math skills. But now he has Isaiah with him when he's, Bob's supposed to be getting $50 or $52 from all the furs that he accumulated. He's trying to fleece him by giving him a little over just 20 some odd dollars. And so Bob uh, kills the guy, and not only takes back his furs, gets the money he's owed, but also for all the years that he's been scamming him, he, the booze and everything like that, from his stock, because like, clearly been scamming me for years, so I'm getting all the stuff that I'm probably owed over that time. Uh, uh, and I guess, or I won't say this is the first time that Isaiah seen death, but the fact that he's this outright murder, he's kind of taken aback. Like, oh my God, you killed him! Like, you get, like, yeah. This is something that Isaiah had to not only learn how to survive, but he had to learn the fact that in the Old West, kill to be killed kind of situation. And of course, it's still the law, but so you could outright do everything, but it's just that things was like kind of like done just matter of factly. Let's put it that way. So yeah, a guy, you out in the wild and you try to sell your pelts and a guy scamming you, and you take it upon yourself to like just kill the guy outright. If you get caught or somebody saw it and tells the law, then that's a different story. But nobody around, who knows? And there's no way, there was no forensics or anything like that back then. So obviously it's like lots of murders went on solve, like taking cold cases to a whole nother level when it comes to the Old West. Anywho, they eventually get tracked down by Bonner, and thanks to the efforts of Bob, they managed to take down a lot of Bonner's cronies. Bonner gets a shot off and kills, or at least mortally wounds, Bob, and he ends up getting caught in a bear trap, and he's completely immobilized. Isaiah goes to help Bob, and then way before Deadpool 2, you get like a hilarious, long drawn out death scene with Burt Reynolds. It's really funny. But he ends up passing away, and then Isaiah it goes the rest of his journey. He comes across a near buried Cortina, who is left there by some folks. He saves him, so now he, is honor bound by a life debt. So he's pretty much like, he's, like Isaiah's kind of stuck with him, and it's kind of funny where now like Isaiah is in a position where he's trying to, he's a little bit more wiser now, so he's like, okay, I'm out in the middle of this wilderness, I'm trying to keep a low profile, don't want to talk too loud. So now he got an idiot of his own that he has to deal with, so it's like the fun role reversal. Now he's not an expert gunslinger, but he's like, it's kind of like a video game. Little by little he's like increasing his experience. So, making their way to El Paso, Texas, at the saloon, where Bonner sees him, arrests him, and so while in Huskow, Isaiah meets up with a legend, the historical gunslinger, real life historical gunslinger, Nat Turner, played by Ernie Hudson. And he would love to be taught by this famous gunslinger, like how to shoot and ride and all this other stuff. And it's like, dude, isn't a couple of those things you already should know? Why? Like I said, like I ain't rehashing that, but it's still dumb. They should probably use different wording for that. But Cortina managed to use some cattle, or at least horses or cattle, to tie it to the bars and pull the wall loose, some weak ass bricks, to rescue Isaiah and, by extension, Nat. They get on the horses to follow Nat to his hideout, where he meets up with Nat's gang. And as I guess an appreciation for helping get him out, Nat decides to teach him how to aim. But he also had to teach him like how to ride a horse. Now he expressed to him, riding a horse is a lot like making love. And of course, him being a virgin, he doesn't know what it's like. So we get Stagecoach Mary to, was kind of awkward, where she pulls him into a nearby tent and pretty much bangs his brains out. And it's kind of like a little awkward because the gang is not too far away, so whatever's going on, they would definitely be hearing it. Especially if penis is going inside vagina, it's kind of like noise will be heard. It's awkward. It's weird. But once things is all said and done, he comes out, he gets on that horse like an expert and riding it like a pro. Now, I never ridden a horse myself, but I imagine you can still be taught how to ride a horse without the necessary use of learning, like knowing how to have sex. Because there's plenty of children who's taught by teachers how to ride horses, and clearly they wouldn't be having sex. So I'm just saying that all that is pretty much being played for comedic effect. Because I imagine any one of them can, especially the freaking adopted parents, should have been teaching this guy how to ride a horse long ago. It's my issue. I just wanted to point it out. But now that he reached another skill level, they go work together to not only they give try to figure out a name for the kid, and this is one, I don't know if he's white or just Mexican, passing kind of like white, but everybody's sitting there talking over each other, trying to come with like a name, making jokes at his expense. And this one guy keep mentioning Cherokee Kid, but then Ernie Hudson pretty much just kind of took his idea, and it's like, hey, we'll call him the Cherokee Kid, and that guy in the middle was like, what the hell, man? So that's how he got his name. So then they work together to go pull like a bank heist, and then as Nat rides off, and if you pay closer attention, as he's riding off, his hat ends up falling off. Clearly, they just left that in the shot because they probably not going to shoot him. Who knows how many takes they took for that particular scene, but they wasn't going to do another take just to make sure the hat stays on. Anyway, so Cortina and Isaiah come with an idea to force Bloomington to come to Isaiah by robbing all the banks owned by Bloomington, because he's been spending most of his career fleecing people out of their lands. So, uh, causing all these robberies forces Loomis and his hands to uh, hire bounty hunters, including the Undertaker, who, according to Nat Turner, was the one who killed Isaiah's brother, who was supposed to be a well-known gunslinger himself. So now it adds another name to Isaiah's hit list of somebody to go after. So uh, trying to make the way to this farm to exchange their horses for fresher ones, they meet this family who looks at Cherokee Kid as like a local hero. Like many gunslingers of the time, has been looked as like, idolized of that era. Of course, the daughter, uh, Abby, who's like a headstrong type of woman, sees an opportunity to try to, because there's like a $500,000 bounty on Cherokee Kid's head. They figure like, oh, she figures like, okay, we can capture him and get the money off of him. But of course, thanks to his expertise in survival, he managed to get loose of the ropes and bondage. And of course, she's, obviously infatuated with Cherokee Kid. Of course, like, girls with bad boys and all this other stuff. Katina and Isaiah ride off, where he gets word that the Undertaker challenges the Cherokee Kid to people informing Cherokee Kid that who was looking for him. Isaiah took the opportunity to put out a challenge to the Undertaker that he will do like a high noon fight. And once everything is like set up, he comes to realize that the Undertaker is actually his long lost brother that wasn't really killed. He faked his death and took on the moniker the Undertaker. So once they recognize each other, they was never shown when they set this plan up, but they faked the high noon fight, pretended to kill the Cherokee Kid, put him in like in a coffin, and this is where we at the present time with the whole funeral thing, where all of the Cherokee Kid's friends that he accumulated through this journey is in this, including obviously the parents, and this is the actual last time we actually see them. But we see all the friends that the Cherokee Kid accumulated through his journey, all in this church. And then right before they have to bury the coffin, it is revealed that, clearly, like, he's not dead. There's like a massive shootout happen. In saving Isaiah, Nat Turner provides cover fire, but he ends up getting shot and killed, which is completely not accurate to the historical facts. Nat Turner actually, had like a short stint as a gunslinger, but then after marrying a woman, he took up a job as like what do you call it, like a not train conductor, but something akin to that, and had like a family. He also was like a famous like cow rustler, so he made his like fame into that. So didn't die in a massive like shootout. Any hoozle. Cortina gets shot in his shoulder, so now it's the bros taking down uh, the henchman while Isaiah goes after Bloomington. Trying to shoot Isaiah in the back, he kills Bloomington, saying that was for his mom. Undertaker takes out Bonner. And this is my biggest issue. Stagecoach Mary has never been seen moving forward since that little brief period that we saw her in the funeral, right before the big reveal that Isaiah was alive. She is clearly there. After that moment, not seen. You see Nat Turner doing a little shootout thing. She is nowhere with him. I expected her to have some kind of emotional thing, whatever, because he was the leader of their gang. She wasn't even there right as they're burying the guy. You see a few other people from the gang there as they were paying their respects to Nat. She is nowhere to be found. I'm not sure what happened behind the scenes of this film, but for some reason, Calloway wasn't. I don't know if she had some other obligations that caused her to, like, you know, wrap up her part of the shoot, or there were some other issues where she's kind of like want to be done, and they just didn't like bother to include her in any other future scenes towards the tail end. That was weird. I have to rewind, the last 10 minutes of the film just to see if I missed something. But no, don't see her after that point, after the funeral. She just disappeared right as the shootout was beginning. I didn't even see her left a shot as, Isaiah pops out of the coffin. Anyway, so they continue on with their adventure, trying to, the brothers want to reacquaint each other with their lives and what's going on, and continue on with their, gunslinging adventure, where Abby tags along with them and Katina. And that's where the movie ends. That's the Cherokee Kid. Fun Western, something that, in many respects was the Wild Wild West before the Wiki Wiki Wild Wild West. Highly recommend y'all check this out. It was on HBO Max. I'm not sure why they took it out, but I went to Amazon Prime and rented it just to see it. But I highly encourage you guys to check it out. If you do, let me know in the comments below. Let me know what you guys think of the Cherokee Kid, all the performances, because I liked everybody here in terms of performance. Sinbad was definitely a good standout, showing his growth as a character in the role, from incompetent to and then advancing as he kind of like building up experience until he got to expert level. So yeah. Anywho, I'll see you guys in a little bit with some reaction videos I got keyed up, but I will see you all soon. That wraps up for Black History Month and Valentine's Day rom-com theme for February. The next theme won't be until May and June with Father's Day and Mother's Day review month. But I got other films that I can just start getting into that I want to review. Anyway, I'll see y'all soon. Take care. Peace.